Hello. Right, got a little message for you. Have a look at this. So, don't know if you could read that, but it says, I plan so I can be prepared to win. So, planning in selling. A lot of people think planning is only really relevant in selling when it comes to big deals. Big deals are big, but sometimes you don't know that they're big until you've got past the gatekeeper on that very, very first phone call. So I would say you've got to plan before you think you've got to plan. So some people say you've got to plan on negotiation. So I train people on how to negotiate effectively, and a big part of that is planning. Planning. I also train people and coach people on cold calling, and a large part of that is also planning. So I kind of just wanted to emphasize the importance of planning to you today. Hopefully this will help you a little bit. So I've just made a few notes, and plan what you say is the very first thing. So quite often I'll hear people on the phone who are really, really competent and really, really well versed in what they do. Unfortunately, it doesn't come out like that when they're on the phone. It doesn't come out like that when they're explaining what they do to me. So if they're explaining to me what they actually do for a living, sometimes it comes out a bit jumbled, or sometimes there's just too much jargon involved. And sometimes I'm listening to somebody and I am honestly glazing over. So you've got to think about being in that other person's shoes. You see, it's wise to be in their shoes but not one step ahead of them. Quite a lot of salespeople think, oh, I've got to be one step ahead of my customers. Well, no, you don't. You just need to understand what it's like to listen to you. I mean, I keep saying, would you listen to you? And if the answer is, I don't know, then perhaps you ought to go back to the drawing board and think about what you're saying and how it's coming out. And I think if you think about the very first hurdle on a cold call, it's about getting past the gatekeeper. Is it? Well, if that's what you want to do, then you've actually got to be liked by the gatekeeper. And perhaps the gatekeeper won't like you if they don't like what you're saying, because if you think about it, they can only judge you on what you're saying, can't they? They can't see you. So, you might have the best smile in the world, you might be, the most well-dressed, well-groomed person in the world, but that doesn't matter to them. They can only judge you on what you say. So make what you say sharp. Make what you say sound like you're well-groomed. Make what you say sound like you're well-presented. Make what you say sound like you're confident. Make what you say sound like you know what you're talking about. So make what you say sound like they should put you through to the right person. So again, listen to yourself. Do you sound like all of those things? And would you listen to you? Well, what judgment would you make if you listened to you? And if it's not, great, yeah, I passed myself through, then, change it. Think about it. Think about how you're coming across. Sometimes terminology, jargon, and there's a lot of digital people out there and IT people out there, and if you're in that world, just be mindful of the fact that some of the people that you might be talking to might be just a little bit older than you and don't really get all the jargon and terminology. So worth just thinking about what you're going to say. Plan it effectively. I have no doubt you know what you do and what you sell, but sometimes we all get a little bit tongue-tied, so just think about it. Feed your brain some plans. If you feed your brain a plan, it'll spit it out through your mouth in the right way. So the other thing that I just wanted to very quickly say is get to know who you're talking to. I had a phone call just yesterday from somebody who was obviously working off a script. Well, at least it sounded like that to me, and it was just railroad, and I just felt like this person's going to listen to me, so I really don't want to give this person any more time. So I was just, in your planning, just get your head around how you're going to find out how to tailor what you're saying to suit the person that you're talking to. Get to know them. Have your questions. Plan your questions. Make sure you have them ready to throw at either the gatekeeper or the decision maker, whomever it is that's going to help you to qualify this opportunity. Qualifying is important. Now, without reopening up some of the old video messages that I've given you, I think this was just a little message that I thought might help, just based on some of my more recent experiences of cold callers. Plan it, it'll work. It doesn't take long. Planning doesn't have to be a massive sort of in-depth strategic military operation type planning. It just needs to be, would you listen to you? Speak to you soon.